Hi there, I'm Kathleen Taplin with Best Healing Solutions, and I'd just like to chat with you a little bit today about my own personal healing journey. As a child, I was quite healthy, with the exception of some strep that I would have once or twice a year, and really just made it through my teenage years doing pretty well. And then when I got to my 20s, that's really when I kind of started noticing some issues. The first one being sinus issues, sinus infections to be specific. I noticed these, and at the time, I was a commercial airline pilot. So I would just blame these infections that I would get a couple times a year, at least, on, oh, altitude changes, or I'm exposed to so many different people at work and germs, and that just must be it. So, although they weren't pleasant at all by any means, one specific time I remember I could not get out of bed. I literally had to roll out of bed onto my knees and my hands and walk because I had such terrible vertigo, which, of course, as an airline pilot is not something that you can do or have. So, I would use a lot of sick time and I would go to the doctor. I was referred to a ear, nose, and throat specialist, and they took all these scans, and of course, everything was normal. So, no one could give me an answer to what was causing my sinus infections. A few years later, in my early 30s, I was still experiencing them, and a friend of mine just chatted with me about diet and foods and how they can affect our physical bodies, and specifically with this sinus issue. She had also noticed I had a lot of clearing of my throat, coughing, and I really hadn't thought about it. But as I thought, and we were having this conversation, she specifically brought up cow dairy and how it can cause a lot of issues with people, and especially sinus issues. So I probably looked at her like she was a little crazy, to be honest. But I thought about it later and I thought, well, I really am tired of the sinus infections. No one can give me other answers of what's causing them, and I really don't like to take antibiotics. So I did a little experiment and I eliminated cow dairy from my diet. And lo and behold, wouldn't you know it, um, my sinus infections went away or stopped. And as a person, I grew up in the Midwest here on our family farm, and I pretty much ate whatever. We had a lot of, fresh produce, garden veggies growing up. But if you would have told me that my body could be allergic to foods, I'm kind of embarrassed to say I would have thought you were crazy. I had no idea. I just didn't know. As my husband said, you just don't know what you don't know. So that was pretty eye-opening for me, and I feel like I started really thinking a lot more naturally about my health all over, like in general. Also, actually from my teens up until through my 40s, whenever I would get my cycle, I would have just severe pain, cramping, but specifically, and even sometimes not in my when I had my cycle, I would suffer from migraines. And if you've ever had a migraine, you know how debilitating they can be. And during my 30s, I switched careers and became a classroom teacher, elementary classroom teacher. So, which can be stressful, right? Just like any other job. So a lot of times I would just, if I would get a migraine and it wasn't around my cycle, I would blame it on just the stress. And this became an issue. Of course, I had to call in sick. A lot of times I would be in bed for a day or two and with just awful pain. I would try different modalities, chiropractic, acupuncture, NAET, and then later on emotion code, body code. And again, I couldn't figure out what was going on. At the time, my family would tell me, again, it's that family curse because everybody on my dad's side of the family, including my aunt and her family and my cousins, they all talk about these chronic migraines. And I thought, okay. Um, so I was just really thrilled when a family member recommended quantum techniques and now Best Healing Solutions to work on some of these issues. Specifically, I work with Dr. Carolee a lot on this migraine issue, and it was amazing. She traced back a lot of this issue on my dad's side, so that was in fact true, but it was generational or miasm from my dad's mom. And she cleared so many things that were causing my migraines. And I can say now that I am pretty much been migraine free. I can't think of the last time I had a migraine. And I'm just so incredibly grateful. Also, I learned more about foods and how they affect the body, including with migraines or the migraines that I would still suffer from at that time. So I'm just so grateful for this and grateful for this work. And I can't remember the last time I had a sinus infection, which is amazing as well. And throughout this whole experience, I've just had lots of different practitioners work on me, and I'm grateful for each and every one. And I just also think about after I had my daughter, I had severe exhaustion, like hard time getting out of bed exhaustion. And through this work also, and I worked a lot with Dr. Carol Lee and then also with Beth. That's been something that's also just been taken care of as well. Not to say that I'm not ever tired as I grow older, but I know like when I'm exercising, eating right, doing those things that I need to do, that I can just live as my highest and truest self. So I don't know, as you're watching this video, do you have some of the same things that I had going on with your life or something else, maybe physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, relational? Because the good thing about Best Healing Solutions is we can address any and all of those. And I can honestly say that I have had work through Best Healing Solutions on every single one of those issues in my life. And I'm just so grateful because I feel so much more rebalanced now. And not just for myself, but my family as well. I can say this has been really, literally, and truly 100% life saving for my daughter. She suffered from pretty severe anxiety and depression since she's been quite young, and I believe that this has saved her life. I also look at my husband, and he's just done so well with this work as also had a pretty tough and I guess lots of trials in his childhood, but he's just been able to work through so much of that. And then even our relationship as a couple, once you have these traumas and these past experiences cleared and your body is in a truly rebalanced state, just helps you to live to be your highest and truest self. I really truly believe that's what God wants from all of us. So if you're out there thinking, gosh, I can't maybe get some answers to what I've been trying to deal with and struggle with, reach out to me. Let's take a look at it and see what we can do. I just want to help you get the relief that I got through all this wonderful, great energy work, and especially Best Healing Solutions. And just reach out and let's talk about what we could maybe do to help you as well. Thanks for watching.